Mr. Reid, do you want to make some comments or ask questions?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. You know, if you want to work to try to bring Mr. Kennedy here to one of the public safety meetings or a much more larger venue, I certainly would be willing to work with you, Madam Chair, and to pick up his plane costs and to house him, if that's what you choose to do. But Chief, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Can you sustain the 100-block plan, given the limited amount of officers? I don't want you to give me the political correct question. I want you to be honest and upfront with me, because that's how I respect you as a law enforcement officer, but more important as the chief of our police department. So I just want an honest answer.
And I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to give you an honest answer. We have to look at different ways to sustain our efforts in the 100-block program. With the officers going back into patrol, returning to their normal assignments in the PSO areas, it's going to be very difficult for us to continue our efforts in that area with the focus that we've had. Now, what that means to me is that I have to really encourage and call upon my partners in law enforcement, which is the BART Police, the Highway Patrol, and all those other agencies that are patrolling in Oakland, to help us supplement how we're going to deal with some of the lack of resources in those areas. But it is something that I have to look at, where those officers are going, because when we look at our staffing issues, one of my main goals is to fill the beats. So when someone calls 911, it's not taking 17 minutes as the statistic shows. It should be around 7 minutes. So that's my #1 priority. Second to that is our ability to use resources to be proactive in terms of how we address some of the crime problems in Oakland. And one of the things that I've done is look at, in terms of the burglaries in some of the hill areas, I've actually assigned internal affairs investigators 1 day a week to come out of the office and do patrols in those areas. And that's a big deal for me, because as you know, we have a lot of work to do in internal affairs, and I have timelines and due dates, and I have compliance issues that I have to address. But that's a balancing act that I have to do in order to stretch the limited resources. So to answer your question, it is going to be challenging to sustain the efforts, but we have to look at other ways to how do we make up for some of the loss that we're going to encounter.
Thank you. I appreciate that honest answer, because I have the utmost respect for you as I do for the men and women of the Oakland Police Department. But I also know that given the limited amount of officers that we have, and given the level of crime that we have in the city, and given all the things that our officers have gone through over the last year, that I don't know how you sustain it. I really don't. I don't believe that the 100-block plan is going to work, but I am willing to allow for it to move forward, but I just don't think it's going to happen, because I guarantee you, when you see an increase in crime up in my district, I guarantee you there's going to be a shifting of resources from those focus areas to deal with those crimes up in the hills. I think you heard it from the residents in Councilmember Libby Schaaf's district in my meeting, public safety meeting that's scheduled for next month. You're going to hear it from the residents up in my district. I mean, because they're having discussions about hiring armed security guards to patrol their neighborhoods. It's not what I want them to do, but it's certainly an option for them to consider. So, I mean, I'm not going to do as others done me when I tried to do the curfew ordinance and couldn't get it out of committee, or the loitering ordinance and I couldn't get it out of committee. So I'm allow this to move forward. But I guarantee you, when we come back 6 months, 7 months, a year from now, this 100-block plan will have not worked, because you don't have the manpower to deal with it. I was hoping that someone would come to us this evening with a plan to put something on the ballot in November, to take another shot of going out to the voters and asking them to step up to the plate, allow us to bring additional police officers. I certainly hope between now and the time frame to do so that someone will do that. And I just tell you, I'm really concerned about this 100-block plan and our ability to sustain it. And I think I will be proven true to my statement that I made when it comes back in 6 months or when it comes back in 7 months. But But I do want to just express my thanks to you, Chief. I think you are the right chief at the right time to lead our police department in our efforts to make this city a safe place for us to live and to raise our families. And it is going to be an even more challenging time for you under your leadership to bring us in compliance with the NSA and to deal with the issues that your officers have to deal with each and every night on the streets. It's crazy. The guns out there on our streets, it is just mind-boggling. Last night I was a shooting at 98th and Holly. 2 people shooting at each other. Another innocent bystander gets shot as he on his way home. 75 feet from my back wall at my home, another young person shot another young person. And I'm just telling you, it is scary in Oakland. And I'm not afraid to say that. It is scary in the city of Oakland. And when it's that close to my home, it becomes even more scarier. So I'm just saying, the 100-block plan, I'll let it go forward, but I'm just telling you, you watch what happens. I have the utmost respect for you, Reagan, you know that. But it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And we'll be having a discussion about another plan to try to figure out how to make it work and how to make this city safe. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Reid.